Hello there, fellow readers. I am Rensedion Bidoblan, and I am a proud Asemayan. I am also the leader of Group 3, and we are tasked to interpret, analyze, and reflect a literary work by a national artist. But before anything else, are you familiar with the Mats by Francisco Arcellana? If you have already read the story, then I think you will relate in our video. But for those of you who still haven't, then just keep watching. Get ready and prepare yourselves to listen.
The Mats, Close Analysis. The Mats, a short story by Francisco Arcellana, was published in 1963. The themes are still relevant today, particularly because the story depicts a close family relationship, respect for elders, and remembering family members who have died.
In the story, the speaker describes a typical family that is overjoyed when the head of the household, Mr. Angeles, was to surprise each family member with a custom-made sleeping mats upon his homecoming. They waited so long for his return from his trip to Maribeles that Nana Emilia and the kids got a chance to talk about the special mat. That is part of the family's history and also part of the kids' childhood, which was a present from her mother when she was married to Mr. Angeles. When Mr. Angeles came home, they all received their mats with their names written on them. And one by one, the children were satisfied. Mr. Angeles also got their deceased children the sleeping mats, which surprised Nana Emilia and made both of them spend their time to be bewildered by sorrow at the end of the story.
The author demonstrates the Filipino culture being sentimental towards things that have special attachments between them. And when remembering our loved ones, we always practice showing our adoration, and we do not forget them even though they no longer exist in our world. This is an evident point of view that we can sometimes act tough in our everyday life, but we can still be heartbroken when we remember losing a family member.
Critical interpretation. The story The Mats reflects our Filipino family culture, the pasalubong. If one of our family was from a trip, they won't forget to buy gifts for us. This can be reflected in the story where Mr. Angeles made effort to bring souvenirs upon his travel. We always think how to make our family happy by giving them small or valuable gifts. Mr. Angeles shows how much he loves his family. We must respect, care, and love our family, especially our parents. We know how much they would sacrifice their lives for us just to make us happy. The children in the story were also very cheerful when their father give them those mats, and we should also reflect from them to be more appreciative towards our parents' efforts and energy to make them feel rejoiced.
In addition, this special mat is the mat of the Angeles family, which is only used on specific purposes. It served the wedding night, the special comfort zone of the sick, and even as the last breath for those who died in the family. These mats show our cultural characteristic of sentimentality, respect, love, and acknowledgement of the dead. That even though they do no longer exist, they still hold a special place in our memories. In the very words of Mr. Angeles, is it fair to forget them? I was flattered when Mr. Angeles didn't forget his children who passed away. He really shows how much he loved his children. We should not forget our loved ones throughout the years past since they left us, because they are part of our lives, and this is a way to honor their life, memories, and time they had invested in us.
It's a great idea that the writer focused on something that is simple to normal people but can be meaningful for someone else's life, since many people can actually relate with this story of losing a loved one. Sometimes we think that they are gone, but they still remaining through our memories, and their influence that they had impact on our lives.
I learned in the story that we must be patient with everything in this world in order to get what we want and to value it right after we have attained it. We must also learn how to acknowledge, to forgive, but not to forget with what happened and what will happen in our life. Since this is the life we were given, and by valuing its importance, it will make us stronger to fight the challenges of reality. I can also say that we must not forget those things that can be painful for us because we need to learn from our past.
And when I say we should learn from it, we need to cherish every moment with the people we love and just we value the most because it is evident that time cannot be reverted. So we must make our says to not regret those crucial times from yesterday's time. We might be struggling now, but we still must continue our life virtuously.
Remember that acceptance is the key to convert momentary happiness to enduring happiness. It helps you more from feeling happy to actually being happy. Grief teaches us that we should live every day at creating memories that will comfort us after our loved ones are gone. The Mats is a short story written by Francisco Arcellana that captures a father's affections towards his family the same way as he pays tribute to their loved ones who already passed away.
The author's purpose is to persuade the readers. I can tell it by the flow of the story, where it portrays a message about our Filipino traits and our mannerism and how we treat our family and making time to commemorate those who are gone. The author persuades its readers to follow the moral of the story and to cherish time and the people whom we love. I also think that the purpose of the author was achieved since it had gained recognition throughout time. Not only that it was well known, but because of the relatability, the story was spectacular. Whereas our culture of being a Filipino was highlighted, mentioned, and recognized. In these types of writing, the author shares his opinion, but usually he also provides facts and examples which made the readers to picture out the short story.